The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond, you're listening to the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders and Diamond K.
Black Avenger, a.k.a. the Black Azrael, Lee Sanders here. What's up, everybody? I hope you all are having a good jump start to the week so far. Going to be joined by co-host Diamond K in just a little bit, folks. And in the meantime, you know how we do it over here. We got the chat room open for you all. Feel free to jump on in at blogtalkradio.com/the RCWR Show. You can also take the time out to interact with us. We do like hearing from you all from time to time. If you have Twitter, hey, interact with us on Twitter. Hit us up at Infinity One Prod when you get a free moment. All right, so before we dive into what all you might have missed from this past Monday night's WWE Raw, as it was a pretty historic episode where we saw the Phenom, the Dead Man, the Undertaker, make his eagerly anticipated return back to main WWE programming, eyeing this year's WrestleMania. Ooh, we're going to jump all into that. But first, I want to just let you guys know we have to get this out the way off the break before we go any further. For those of you that like to check out content that we post at our website over at InfinityOneProductions.com, I got a little bit of an update I want to share with you all. And this mainly goes out for those of you that might have not seen the article yet. If you were listening to our weekend edition this past weekend, and if you were listening to Impact Showdown Radio last Thursday, you know we had made a huge announcement. We had said that the one and only Shine Wrestling's own Amazing Kong was going to be coming by our weekend edition on March 30th to help wrap up our one-year anniversary celebration. Well, got some unfortunate news to tell you, boys and girls. Looks like Amazing Kong is not going to be doing the interview. Now, I don't want to give too much stuff away as far as the email exchanges that was going down, but it was very professional, very friendly. What I can tell you is that after going back and forth and confirming that the appearance was a green light, I got an email about maybe 2 days later saying that she's not going to be able to grant any more interviews right now. And we remain definitely friendly and professional with them to a point where we definitely are trying to work on having Amazing Kong showing up on a future episode. Basically, her workload is just a little bit too much right now, so she needs a little bit of downtime. And we all understand now. We've been there ourselves. There's times where we want to kick back and just let loose for a little bit, take a little hiatus, well-deserved break. Nothing wrong with that. And she's been going at it a little bit hard since she's been back in wrestling. So all the best to her. But again, we'll definitely be working with her and her people to one day in the very near future to come on to the show. Rest assured of that. Now, despite that disappointing news, I have been very aggressive past couple of days in trying to get people to come on to the show. I'm trying to secure a few names, and hopefully we can have something forthcoming within this week. So make sure that if you are not following us yet on Twitter and Facebook, you do so. Hit us up on Twitter, Infinity One Prod. You can follow us, get all the latest updates. You can also follow us on Facebook. Great page, Infinity One Productions. And, of course, there's the website itself that you can always check out. All right, so now that we got that out the way, let's go on ahead and let's talk about the fallout from Monday's WWE Raw. In case you might have missed it, as I said there, it was the return of the Phenom, the Dead Man, the Undertaker, returning the main WWE programming for the first time in almost a year. What better way to kick off the old school edition of Monday Night Raw than to have the one and only Undertaker? I mean, when you think about WrestleMania season, Undertaker is just everything that embodies that historical pay-per-view of all wrestling pay-per-views, hands down. And he looked to be pretty freaking awesome with that badass robe. I loved the way that looked. Personally, though, I was expecting him to come out to that Johnny Cash joint that he came out to last year. I was really liking that song, but I'm down with the traditional Undertaker music. And we didn't even get to see Undertaker talk, folks. I mean, he literally just came out, threw up his hands, did the whole flame pyrographs there, and disappeared. That kicked off Old School Raw. Great little video graphic there. And then we see the former WWE champion, the straight edge superstar, the one and only CM Punk, who chewed into the WWE universe big time, telling them that it's basically their fault that he is in a position that he is in now, where he's basically looking at WrestleMania from the outside, but he is just hell-bent on making the WWE Universe pay for it, and he can't help but notice that the fans care more about the Undertaker streak than they do with his own streak that he had going on as the WWE champion. And for that, he's looking to make the WWE Universe pay severely. And he figures what better way to do that than to challenge the dead man's streak. Now, this wasn't as clear-cut as it was going to be, folks. Now, we ended up seeing Sheamus, Randy Orton, Big Show all come out, lay claim as to why they should be the ones that should take on The Undertaker. You look at it from Big Show's standpoint. Big Show, he's faced him before, came up very short, but what makes this time around different is that he has that devastating WMD finisher. You go to Randy Orton, who came very close 8 years ago as he was a rookie in the WWE. He came very close to ending The Undertaker's streak. Well, this time around, he's got a little bit more seasoning under him. Maybe this time around, he can get it done. You go over to Sheamus, who brings up one of the most interesting arguments of them all. He has never faced the dead man. So maybe with a little luck of the Irish fella and that devastating bro kick, maybe it can be Sheamus. Maybe it's him that should win the right to face The Undertaker. I don't know about you all, but Sheamus sounds pretty good. But then, if you're an old school Undertaker fan like me, you're probably kicking back saying to yourselves, doesn't matter which one of y'all it's going to be, you're going to be a dead man walking either way. Well, we saw Miss Cougar in charge, Vicky Guerrero, put a match out there, Fatal 4-Way, where it was going to be CM Punk taking on Sheamus, Randy Orton, Big Show, where the winner gets to face The Undertaker at this year's WrestleMania. So, you're keeping that in your mind and you're saying to yourself, okay, this is the route that WWE is going to go. Many of us were kind of under the impression that with the God references, immortal, icon, legend references that CM Punk had made last week, that maybe that was something that was going to continue. And quite honestly, we were going to see Undertaker get in CM Punk's face and issue the challenge that way. I don't know. I thought that might have been a really cool way to go. I kind of felt that they teased the hell out of the viewers by having it be this Fatal 4-Way match, kind of giving you a little bit of an impression that CM Punk may not get the job done in this Fatal 4-Way, that it could be any one of the other three men to go on to face Undertaker. But lo and behold, despite all the weird shenanigans that was going on there with WWE's booking, it would be CM Punk standing victorious over those three men and winning the right to take on the dead man at this year's Mania. And Diamond, I got to pick your brain on this, buddy. When it comes to CM Punk Undertaker, do you think that the the booking, WWE, do you think they kind of insulted the WWE universe a little bit, bro, and just saying, okay, well, it's not quite CM Punk because, there's this fatal four-way. Oh, well, what do you know? It is CM Punk. So it's going to be CM Punk taking on The Undertaker. A few people, they kind of felt their intelligence was insulted a little bit. Do you think WWE was right going the route that they did, or they should have just went with Undertaker just coming out and just going face-to-face with CM Punk?
Well, I really think that they did it the right way. I have seen some people say that. I felt that instead of just having him come out, call him out, demand it. We didn't have that kind of time to bait him in like when Shawn baited The Undertaker in, if you will. We didn't have that many weeks to work with. So him coming out proclaiming that he wanted the shot and three other guys coming out and Punk actually having to, quote-unquote, earn it, I think was much better. Especially since he had to get some of his heat back, losing back-to-back. So he needed a big win in order to justify being in that slot. If he was coming in with the title, then no, he wouldn't have to do a fatal four-way. But, he was knocked down in the rankings, so to speak. I know they don't do rankings like that, but, they were knocked down in the rankings from the standpoint of being the former champion and then being the number one contender, losing his rematch, and now Cena's the contender. So how would you justify giving him a high-profile match if he doesn't, really have a major win?
Yeah, very valid point indeed, yeah. And I thought this comment was interesting. This came from Tammy A. That has nothing to do with our Tammy over here that works behind the scenes and stuff, but this is a totally different Tammy. But she says, and I quote right here, this is a tweet, so we have CM Punk lose to The Rock and John Cena, and now he gets a chance at The Undertaker. How sad and lame, WWE Raw. And, I mean, this was pretty much the sentiment just all night. I don't know how it was at your end, but it was like a good majority of the people I was talking to. They just really felt bummed out for CM Punk. Now, you and me, we talked about it last week. We said the routes that, they need to go with CM Punk to kind of, get him up on that redemption side there after losing the Taker. But, I can't help but kind of look at what everybody is saying right there, and it creates a very interesting debate. You know what I'm saying? For me, and I want to put this question out there to you. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, okay, and I'm actually going to give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe we will see the unthinkable, right? Maybe
we will.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe CM Punk will do something that Triple H has not been able to do at 3 WrestleManias. Shawn Michaels was not able to do in 2 back-to-back WrestleManias. Maybe we're going to see something that many men have been, so short in accomplishing, which is to beat The Undertaker at Mania. Now, here's the 2-part question. Can we see it? You already said yes, but I want you to go into detail for the folks why you think we can see it. And then the second part is, what would CM Punk have to gain from this win over The Undertaker? What would it signify for him in the WWE? And would he be the right person to do it?
Yes. We have to and will see CM Punk defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. All of the CM Punk fans, because these are the people that are upset about this, and I'm a CM Punk fan, definitely as well. My favorite wrestler by far right now. However, CM Punk is in a great spot. Great. You cannot be in a better spot than you have The Rock, you have The Undertaker. I mean, you have The Rock, you have Cena, and then you have CM Punk. So CM Punk is number 3 in the biggest wrestling organization in the world. He's in a very good slot. He's fine, and he's going to be fine for years and years to come. you don't get a better. I mean, you just don't get a better spot than this. You know, anybody who thinks that Cena and Rock should not be in this match is not looking at WrestleMania from a business perspective. They're looking at it strictly from a selfish, this is who I like perspective. And you can't do that. If we're analyzing wrestling, you have to look at it from a business perspective. The Rock and Cena rematch is the best match. That's the money match right there. Now, Undertaker and Punk are going to have a great high-profile match, and Punk is going to knock off the streak. 20-0 is good. 21-0. I mean, they've done all they can do with the streak. They've made all the money they can make out of it. There's no extra money to be made continuing to 21-0. I mean, they've sold all the DVDs they can sell, all the T-shirts, all the posters, everything. There's nothing left to do. The only thing left to do to get equity out of the streak is to end the streak. Put it on CM Punk. He will be the biggest heel. You know, I would love to have seen Cena end it, but I really don't see Taker lasting long enough for Cena. Cena's probably not going to go heel for another 2 to 3 years. Undertaker doesn't have 2 or 3 years. So Punk needs to end it. Punk's the one to do it, and that would cement Punk as a major force. And he's going to get the title again this year.
And bear in mind, CM Punk is 34 years old, so, I mean, he's still relatively a young guy. I mean, we didn't finally see Triple H make the transition away from full-time wrestling, I don't think, until about maybe 41, because I think he's 43 right now. So I don't think we saw him make that full transition until he was about 41, 42 there. Sounds about right. And CM Punk, you know, he's definitely young. He would be the one to go that route. But see, let's look at it from this standpoint now, okay? We know we got those John Cena fans, okay? Let's tackle that now. With 10 years and counting under John Cena's belt, why is he not the man to go with to face the dead man and possibly end the streak? Do you think this is a case right here where, you know, because I'm just thinking back now, you know, they had plenty of opportunities where they could have had Cena take on The Undertaker at Mania, but it seems like these two, their paths have never crossed. Why do you think that is? And wouldn't John Cena be the right way to go with all those years under his belt? No, we can't hear Diamond. Okay. I'll buy Diamond a couple of minutes there. Well, you know, for me, you know, that's what I'm looking at right now. I mean, I definitely am a CM Punk fan myself, and, you know, I would love to see CM Punk do the unthinkable. And, I mean, like I said, he's young, 34. I know some people kind of look at that as old, but, I mean, CM Punk, you still got about 6 to 8 years in the guy that you can get out of him if you do it right. And he would definitely be the way to go. He's one of the top 3 guys in the company right now. That would definitely be a smart move to go, but I can't help but look at a guy like John Cena, and very interesting point that he made to The Rock last night, which was he's overcome every single obstacle that's been put in front of him in his wrestling career in the WWE, and he's always defied the odds. But when it comes to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, at least, that is one that he just hasn't been able to overcome. Diamond, you know, to hear that, I'm automatically kicking back and saying to myself, well, you haven't beaten The Undertaker at Mania. You know, why do you think they haven't crossed paths yet?
Well, I mean, the thing about it is that if you put John Cena in that spot against The Undertaker, he's going to get booed out of the building. Any building, including Boston, he'll get booed out of the building. Cena, that is. Mm-hmm. So if you put him in that situation, you're going to have to turn him heel. And you can't turn Cena heel unless you have his replacement. They do not have his replacement. And so we are at least 2 years away from a Cena heel turn, at least 2 years away, and they'll probably extend it to 5 years. I just don't know if Punk is Cena's replacement. But if Punk is to be Cena's replacement, he would have to have a very, very strong heel run for a significant amount of time before they turn him face. And it's just not the time yet. So you can't have Undertaker and Cena cross paths, or else you're going to have to turn Cena.
Okay. And when you do turn Cena heel, then that would be the way to capitalize. You want to have a heel Cena defeat Undertaker.
Absolutely, but unfortunately, Taker's too old. You know, we would need to keep Taker around. I mean, Taker's not going to be, doing his 25th WrestleMania. I mean, it's just not going to happen. And that's around the time when they're going to probably turn Cena. WrestleMania. The 25th year for the Undertaker, as far as WrestleMania goes, and he's not going to be able to be the one to do it. They're going to have to do some type of, NWO type of turn where you think Cena's good and he does the wrong thing. That's how they're going to have to turn him. When they do it, it's going to be big business, but it is not time for that yet.
You know, you said something that I thought was very interesting. It's definitely a point that I had wanted to highlight tonight, which was Undertaker, no way, 25th anniversary at WrestleMania, just not going to happen. You know, and we thought that maybe 17-0, okay, he's done. 18-0, okay, yeah, all right, he's done. 19-0, we're like, okay, he's done. 20-0 came, and now we're getting ready to possibly see 21-0, and for me, I couldn't help but kick back and say to myself, Diamond, 21-0. That's one hell of an odd number, just literally, and I couldn't help but kind of fast forward a little bit. I'm saying to myself, April 1st, 2018, we're going to be days, weeks away from WrestleMania 34, and if a 52-year-old Undertaker at that point is still wrestling, that will mark the milestone of 25 years of dominance at WrestleMania, being undefeated. It would only serve right to kind of look into the crystal ball here in anticipation of an Undertaker making it that far. Let's just time travel a little bit. Let's say he gets past CM Punk here, all right? We got WrestleMania 30. I'm going to give you a list, and I just want you to maybe try to come up with your own list here. But you might agree with me with some of the selections I picked here, all right? I kind of jumped out there. I said, all right, we're talking about WrestleMania 34, all right? So WrestleMania 30 in 2014, personally, and I did this in the way that I'm looking at some of these wrestlers' contracts right now and who all is currently still active with the WWE, and I do have The Rock on this list. Let me get that out the way right now. I think you guys are going to like the way I ordered this. All right, WrestleMania 30, I'd like to see him take on Brock Lesnar. All right, okay, you've signed him for an exclusive 2-year deal. You need to capitalize the hell out of that while you still have it. I think both of these two men, though it would be very physical for The Undertaker, I don't know if he could really, take it like that, but honestly, I think he can. I think if this was done in a way where it could be Brock Lesnar that could take all the lickings and everything, get all the physical stuff, take all the bumps, I think this would be a really good rivalry, would make great television, I think. WrestleMania 31 in 2015. I just have this weirdest vibe that The Rock will continue to do business with WWE. I want to see WWE capitalize on that before The Rock finally decides to hang up the boots for good. 2015, I'd like to see The Undertaker and The Rock. Is just something that personally, as an Attitude Era guy, I've always wanted to see these two guys get it on at Mania. WrestleMania 32 in 2016, Dolph Ziggler. Now, some of you may be saying at this point, Lee, why did you put Dolph Ziggler so low there? At this point, I'm thinking by 2016, Dolph Ziggler should have held the WWE title and the World Heavyweight title for a longer reign. I think he should be right up at this point where CM Punk is. So I think that would be a perfect timing right there to have a Dolph Ziggler take on an Undertaker. Now, if Undertaker is able to get past all those guys, we're talking about WrestleMania 33 in 2017. Now, this is a coin flip right here. I went with Chris Jericho. I'm keeping in mind of an interview that he had said recently where he said his body feels good and that most importantly he loves working with the WWE whenever he has time, and that if fans don't like it, they don't like the way that he keeps popping in and out, that's just too damn bad because he's going to continue to do what he wants to do and when he wants to do it. And he genuinely, and this is the one thing I can say about Chris Jericho, when he comes back 100%. He's doing all the live house shows, the works, wherever they need him, he's willing to help them out. And brilliantly, just from that outside marketing standpoint, Diamond, I mean, the guy has been able to bring in his own respected audience, whether it be from Fozzy or whether it be from the Robot League show on Sci-Fi, which if you haven't checked out, you'll want to. It's a damn good show. I mean, this man is able to bring in his own little audience. He has his own little following. So, I mean, I think this would be good timing right here. Jericho, Undertaker. I mean, my God, why has this not happened yet? That's another one for me. Another guy that I have penciled in here, if not Jericho, same year, Ryback. I'm thinking at this point, Ryback should have held the WWE title. For some reason, I got him getting that first before the World Heavyweight title. I don't know why, but at this point, I have him being a champion. I would like to see a scenario go down where maybe they could do something similar to Dave Bautista versus Undertaker. I know you remember that one. I think they could kind of emulate that same thing with Undertaker and Ryback. Wrapping it up at WrestleMania 34 in 2018, 25th anniversary for Undertaker. This is it for him, as far as I'm concerned, 52 years old. I got him ending it with John Cena. Hey, they're going to keep teasing us.
Serious? Okay,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Did you look at any of the steps that the Undertaker took when he moved around a little bit?
Yeah, I did. That brother was struggling.
Do you really think you can get 4 more years and 4 big matches out of those legs? No way. They would love to, and 25, if they could go 25, then they would. But because they can't, they need to end the streak. 25, yeah, if they could make it that far, but Undertaker can barely walk. He's like Hulk Hogan with the dead man gimmick. I mean, his body has a lot of wear and tear on it, and it would be really nice. Name any wrestler that you can think of that could do that. We put that kind of pressure on him, and he's wrestled a very, very hard style for his size.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. It would be nice, but I mean, it's just not going to happen. And if it does, it's going to be, at WrestleMania, people would probably look down upon, a beat-down angle or some type of a false finish and stuff like that. Unless you can do something like that, Undertaker going, 4 to 5 more years, I don't know.
I mean,
and the match that you would see would be just blah.
Yeah. I mean, 52 years old for you guys listening. I mean, that's still young, but you just got to think about the number of years that the man's been wrestling. Yeah, the body's going to get banged up after a while. And, I mean, the reason why I gave him that benefit of the doubt is because I'm thinking to myself, okay, you know what? If he's just coming in to work 1 match a year, that means he has the other time, to kick on back and do rehab and, train his muscles, work out, whatever. And, we thought Shawn Michaels was never going to come back, and I'm a hardcore Shawn Michaels fan. I was sad when he left. I'm thinking that's it. He's definitely done. Broken back and all, yeah, he's definitely not going to risk paralysis. Lo and behold, the guy comes back. He gave us, 6 great years of wrestling there. Still does a little something from time to time for at least WWE tribute to the troops, but as far as WWE, Raw, and pay-per-views go, you can forget about that, but, anything can happen in the WWE. We all know, but, I thought it was kind of nice to be optimistic like that, and, Philip, I got to show some love to him. He's in the chat room right now, and thank you to those of you that are popping in there. We got Philip saying, don't know if all that would happen, though. Rest in peace, Paul Bear. WrestleMania 30, Undertaker versus Jake the Snake Roberts. Come on, man. That's I'm sorry. That's definitely not going to happen. Comes full circle. I don't know, man. But I don't know. I kind of like that list. I mean, would you think, just hypothetically speaking, let's just say he's able to somehow make it 4 or 5 years. Would that be the right order that WWE should go about his matches there, or you have a different set of matches in mind?
I would really like to see that happen. However, it's just really difficult for me to look at it like that, at least from Undertaker's standpoint. But the other things he said, I pretty much agree with.
Okay. I thought that was a really good list.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, it really would be nice. And, of course, we were got all sidetracked there talking about Undertaker, but I think you guys should appreciate, hopefully you did, that good in-depth discussion there. We got to show some love to the dead man there. Old school edition of Raw, we got to see the return of Triple H, who officially put the challenge out there, Diamond, to Brock Lesnar, saying, hey, are you going to sit at home, you going to bleed, or are you going to face me at Mania? We're going to get this done, once and for all. Let's just end this already. And this was definitely a no-brainer right here. Now we got to await the word from Lesnar. Happy to see Triple H back, and he didn't have any wet problems this week, something he did address. He said he had some type of a bladder problem, just playing into what everybody else was saying there. And your thoughts now that it looks like this is going to be a done deal, Triple H, Brock Lesnar getting it on. You pumped up for this match?
Definitely. I like how they have started to build it as it relates to last night, and it's shaping up pretty good. There was a very good promo that was cut by Triple H, and looking forward to Brock's reaction. I'm expecting something to fall upon Vince or Stephanie in the near future.
The thing that I had like best about that promo that Triple H gave, I just kicked back and I said to myself, I love this. And the key word that Triple H said that just really had me sold, and I really hope it sold a lot of listeners and viewers, which is Triple H wants a fight. He doesn't want to wrestle. He wants to fight this guy. And I mean, honestly, I got to give WWE writers props because, you're taking a guy like Brock Lesnar, who you're dubbing as that MMA fighter, and you have him in a wrestling ring. They're making him out to be this massive beast of a man that can just rip your frickin' head off. I like the way that they're approaching it. Triple H fighting Brock Lesnar. I mean, that's awesome. And at the same time, I think they're handling it in a way where you can kind of say to yourself, okay, this is somewhat believable. I can see this happening, despite the fact that we know of Brock Lesnar's MMA background. We know that there's a ton of folks out there, they were quite pissed off, Diamonds, that Brock Lesnar got his ass handed to him because many feel that any typical day of the week, he would have owned Triple H. You know, some are having a hard time seeing it, but you know, I think for what it's worth, you know, I think WWE writing, I think they've been handling it right.
As it relates to the Triple H feud?
Yeah, I think they've been handling it right.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to say, you know, whatever they're going to say, and, you know, I think that the feud has gone well. I think it's been pretty believable. I think when a man has the motivation of his family or family member that can take things up a notch, I'm looking forward to this match. I think that this is going to be a very, very good WrestleMania. I think this is going to be the highest grossing WrestleMania of all times.
Yeah, and to quote someone here with regards to Brock Lesnar, direct quote right here. I cannot stand Brock Lesnar in the WWE. This guy is devoid of all wrestling talent, and it offends me to the core whenever I see him in action. His one-year contract can't end soon enough. Now, buddy, I want you to take a pause. I want you to breathe deep, and I want you to say to yourself, you're jealous because you wish you had that type of job where you only work 3 times out of a year and you get millions of dollars. You know, true story. I was at work today, and I was telling one of my bosses about, because they know I do the show and everything, and they were like, did you watch Raw? Because he's a wrestling fan himself. Did you watch Raw? Did y'all talk about Raw? Yeah. I was like, no, listen tonight, though. And he was like, yeah, look like Triple H challenged Brock Lesnar. I said, yeah. And I told him about, you know, Brock Lesnar's contract and everything. He was like, man, a lot of people would kill to have that freaking schedule. So, I mean, hey, you know, you can be mad all you want, but you got to respect the man. He may, you know, some people, they may look at Brock Lesnar and they may say, oh, you know, he looks like a dumb brute or whatever like that. But Brock Lesnar, he doesn't get enough credit in the world, I mean, that is a smart freaking businessman. And, you know, $5+ million a year, and you're only working, God, you know, I think it's like 30 appearances total or something like that he's doing, or 20-something appearances for a whole year. That's pretty damn good, man. My respect to that man. And the only thing I got to say, if you don't like seeing Brock Lesnar in the WWE, I always say it, change the channel. Let your voices be heard. You don't like seeing them? Change the channel, watch something else, come back 5 minutes later, and he should definitely be off the air. You know, WrestleMania, it continues to take shape. We finally saw John Cena, The Rock, for the first time face-to-face since last year's WrestleMania. It was the point counterpoint, as they were dubbing it. I want to just give you the floor right now. Let you run for a little bit. Tell the folks how you enjoyed that segment there.
Which segment?
The Rock and John Cena there, point counterpoint.
That was one of the best segments of the night. I really enjoyed the main event. I really think that The Rock stepped up to the plate, and I really feel that both of these athletes gave the type of performance that they should have given last year. I did not enjoy the way that they tore each other down. But if you look at the tone that both wrestlers took, it was building up the other one, but at the same time, you know, going after the point of being better than the other man, or going to get the better of the other man. Because if you destroy your opponent verbally and you beat him, then you beat a nobody. Mm-hmm. But both of them raised each other up in their promos, and you know, were very. The tone was a lot different, and I don't know whether it's the animosity is not there that used to be there, and I think that may have something to do with it. Genuinely, last year I got the impression that they really did not like each other, and it was very personal. This year it seems like it's professional and it's business.
Mm-hmm. If last year felt, you know what, your words very eloquent. I couldn't agree anymore. You know, last year, and it's still fresh in my mind, and I have the Once in a Lifetime on DVD. It's still in shrink wrap. I haven't even. It's still in my mind. You know, that's why. So, you know, it's crystal clear. I think about what happened last year. Very territorial. That's really how it was coming off last year. You know, John Cena feeling threatened there. I mean, you could just feel it. You know, and that's what made the interest into seeing that match be so heightened. You know, and then you go into this year, and the flow was just better. I like the way that they were building each other up, and we see Rock there. He said, you know, no, in 34 days, it's not going to be getting redemption. It's going to be about getting your ass kicked. And then to see John Cena sit up and quote Mike Tyson. What was that line? In order to be the greatest that ever lived, you have to beat the one living. And then Cena counters right back. And I got my Armstrongs mixed up. Was it Lance that or Neil? I believe it was Lance.
Lance.
I like that. Yeah, that line. I mean, that joint said, winning is all about heart. You just got to have it in the right place. And he just calls him full of crap, just like Cena. And I'm like, dang, that's just freaking awesome, the way that these two guys are just going back and forth. And, you know, honestly, I'm really getting the impression here that WWE, they've learned from the mistakes that they made with these two guys last year. Now, here's the thing. There's a small number of you all, and I talked with you all, you thought that segment was just a bunch of blah, 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 yakety smackety. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if you have to look at that segment like that, then you're not a true wrestling fan, because it's segments like that where you have opponents just have at it, they're just letting loose, that tell a damn good story of wanting to make you order that daggone pay-per-view. First strike right here. I thought these guys did a hell of a job. For me, it wasn't, ooh, who got the better of the other on the mic. I didn't even go that route. It was just these guys, they really let loose on one another. They both ended up walking away very strong. No one looked devalued. I don't think it's going to go the trashy route that it went last year. I don't even think we're going to see the whole Rock making fun of John Cena, you know, hustle, loyalty, respect, hot bowl of mess, oh, yeah. You know, I don't think we're going to see all that stuff this year. You know, I think this is just really going to be about Cena getting his redemption, having everything come back full circle. And notice how he touched on that, Diamond. He said, you know, it wasn't a coincidence that you had one-year match against CM Punk at the Royal Rumble. I won the Royal Rumble main event. You know, this is all about destiny. You know, this is all about redemption for me. I see it now. It's clear. You know, 34 days, Rock, your time is up. My time is now. I mean, that was just, you know, freaking solid for me right there. And I definitely can't wait to see this match play out. I know some people are already moaning and groaning. We're probably going to see a third in a lifetime between these two guys. Honestly,
definitely.
If it were to happen,
probably next month.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? They can do that. They can go on ahead and they can go with a third in a lifetime. But I guarantee you this, if that match alone, as well as the card that they have right now for this year's WrestleMania, if it's just as impressive or better next year, folks, I honestly don't believe are really going to be tripping over a Rock versus John Cena 3.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No. You know, and I mean, really, you know, I think the people that will be complaining about this are the ones that, you know, just can't stand the fact that they're seeing the same two guys at a main event. But, you know, honestly, I think the way that the card has been starting to take shape so far, Diamond, there's a little bit of something for everybody. And, I mean, let's not forget, we saw that brief little encounter between Mark Henry and Ryback. It's looking as though those two guys, they're probably going to have a match on at WrestleMania. You sold for that?
I am. I like the subtlety of it, and the way that they are starting to kick it off. And if you had said that to me even 2 weeks ago, I would have probably moaned. But I think that we might have a decent match here, and I think that Ryback has been improving. And the match that he had last night, I enjoyed. So Mark Henry, veteran, and I think that he would probably lose this match, but it would be a good match nonetheless.
Be a damn good match. Yeah, no doubt. Of course, we got to talk about this. You know, we don't get to talk about SmackDown that much. We were teased with it on SmackDown. It was so damn good they had to do it again this past Monday night. They had tried to give us the debut of it. Let me make sure I have this set right here.
Yeah, get it right.
Fandango. Dude, he don't need to wrestle as far as I'm concerned. All he need to do is just come out, say that, have his cute little honey, little dancer just do her little. I just thought that was so funny last night on Raw. She's doing her little dancing, and he's like, I will not wrestle until you get my name right. Fandango. And then he just rolls out, and honey's just doing her little dancing and just skips her little way to the back.
Yeah. That's who's playing that part?
The dancer there?
No. Fandango.
Johnny Curtis.
Johnny, I thought that was him. Okay.
Yeah.
This, I was not looking forward to this. However, after I saw the execution, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But initially, from the vignettes, I was not looking forward to it. When they were talking about it, I said, okay, I'm going to go and get something to snack on out of the kitchen, and I was half watching, but then when I saw what was happening, I got into it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So.
Yeah. I mean, he screwed the hell out of folks on SmackDown. Matt Striker couldn't get that name right for nothing. Then you see poor Justin Roberts struggling there, man. You're like, come on, Justin. But Jerry Lawler, he's been on point. He's been nailing that bad boy. Like, every time he hears the guy is getting ready to pop out or he sees the vignette, maybe they should try to get Jerry Lawler to do it, man. But, you know, I know some people, they looked at it and were like, oh, man, this guy's corny. One thing that's kind of trending about Fandango, he's being dubbed Fail-dango. You know, but, I mean, honestly, you know, one person even had the audacity to say that WWE, they needed to get past these silly little gimmicks and, you know, just go with some real stuff. I mean, honestly, man, if you got something that kind of works with the right person, you know, I think, you know, you can make the best out of it. I mean, you know, I kind of take a little bit of a insult to that because, you know, I think about Scott Hall, definitely one of my favorite old school wrestlers. True story, in case you guys don't know, I'm going to definitely give you your education tonight. You know, his whole Razor Ramon gimmick, that was mainly homage to Tony Montana and Scarface. And when he originally pitched it to Vince McMahon and them, you know, they never even heard of the movie Scarface with Al Pacino, let alone the original that came out in the 30s. They thought Scotty was just making stuff off the top of his head, but they liked it. And so, you know, they kind of went with what he was talking about there. And, I mean, you think about that, and, you know, Scott Hall's been like, he's been infamous since, you know. So, I mean, when you have those gimmicks, I mean, honestly, that's what really makes the character and the wrestler worthwhile. And, you know, I think Johnny Curtis, I think the man's got something going on there. I mean, when I saw him this past Monday Night Diamond, the first thing I thought to myself, and it was a combination here, a weird combination. I'm looking at him, I'm saying, damn, this guy has, like, he's not even wrestling. I'm just saying to myself, he's giving me a John Morrison vibe meets Rico. You look so good to me. That was my boy. I love Rico. And he also reminds me of one other guy. Who was the guy that used to spray perfume into the air? Was that Rick the Model Montel?
Rick Montel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got all those three guys mixed in there. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine. He's obviously a heel, and I mean it's a mid-card act, but
Pause right there. Pause right there. Breaking news, and we got to give love to our loyal listener, Philip. Thanks for that shout-out, buddy. Let me make sure that was Philip. Yeah, that's Philip. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate that. Breaking news. Wow. Longtime manager Paul Bearer passed away.
I was trying to wait for a break so I could say that. Yeah.
No, wow. No. Anytime we get some breaking news, we gotta let the folks know. Yeah, Paul Bearer died. What were you able to find out there?
Only that he passed away tonight. Not that long ago, and so that is they haven't said how it happened, but he did pass away tonight. March the 5th, at the age of 58.
Wow.
Paul Bearer, a.k.a. Percy Pringle, Percy Pringle III. So, of course, we know him from, world-class wrestling, WWF, WWE, and, of course, most known for managing The Undertaker, but there's been a lot. Vader, Rick Rude, Mankind, Luger. He's managed a lot. Kane, of course. So definitely with this news going into WrestleMania, I'm sure that puts a damper on the Undertaker character.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see how WWE is going to acknowledge this on Raw next Monday. I know for SmackDown they're probably going to have enough time to put in a little still image and say in loving memory of, but I wonder how they're going to address this on Raw, because, I mean, he really helped a lot of the names that you mentioned. He really got them that spotlight. And
he was a big force on both shows, Raw and SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that they don't get tacky with this, and I hope that they don't have Punk get cheap and unnecessary heat with this, because it's not necessary.
It's really not. No,
I really hope that that they don't go there, and you know what I mean, right?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. The same way that they did it with Jerry Lawler's heart attack.
Right.
Be like, maybe we can kind of, they show some type of class. If there's ever a time, it would definitely be for this moment right here. And that's the thing. At least we can definitely kick back and say, you know what, we've never seen Paul Bearer in a ridiculous situation like Jim Ross breakdancing and doing a spin-a-rooney in the middle of the ring. We've never seen any stupid crap like that. We may have seen him.
I don't know. The thing with Edge and Kane was kind of
freezer moment, right?
Yeah. It wasn't Edge throwing a ball, a soccer ball, or some type of something at Paul Bearer while he was tied up in a wheelchair.
I thought that was a nice little touch. I could appreciate that. And then put him in the meat freezer. Put him in the meat freezer.
I heard him talk about it. He in an interview, he said that it actually did hurt a little bit. But he said he really enjoyed the angle, and all of that. So that was good to know.
I still remember when there was some rivalry going on. Was it Kane and Edge there? There was some angle that was going on where he goes, "Oh, Kane, you found me!" And
that's a pretty good ball pair, right?
Yeah, I do it pretty good from time to time. Kane goes, "I'm not here to rescue you," and he like, I guess he sent Paul Heyman back to hell. He's like, "No!" It's like,
yeah, that was
that was my moment right there, man. That was my moment. He created a lot of great memories, though, man. I mean, he's got like a list of who's who. I mean, for those of you that want a quick little memory jog, I mean, Diamond gave you some names, but I mean, the Assassin, Big Show, Blackjack Mulligan, Buzz Sawyer, Missing Link, of course, Undertaker, Steve Austin, Rick Rude, New Jack, Matt Boom, Mankind. That Mankind right there, that definitely jumps out at me right there. Jack Victory, Great Kabuki, Dingo Warrior. Huh?
Great Kabuki.
Great Kabuki, my bad. Yeah, Great Kabuki.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty heartbreaking. That's very sad to hear. And for those of you that might have some fond memories of Paul Bearer there, you're more than welcome to share your comments in the chat room there. And looks like this is really going mainstream as we're getting word now that it's also on TMZ now. So we know TMZ, they started getting into the wrestling news there. So, yeah, anytime TMZ is definitely a big deal right there. And we'll definitely continue to stay on top of that, and if we can get more information on what exactly has, caused his passing, we'll definitely report on it. And very unfortunate to hear that. As we're just kicking back and letting loose over here. Let's see if we can kind of lighten the mood up just a little bit. WWE.com, they had a very interesting list I want to go through very quickly, and I want to pick your brain on it here. And the list that they have up, they did it over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. A top 10 list, believe it or not, of the best WCW champions. I'm thinking to myself, top 10 list. How the hell did you guys pull this off? And this is exactly the order that they did it. I'm just going to give you the names. I'm not going to even give the background and all that. I'll just go through the names, and I'll get your thoughts on it. At number 10, they got Great Muta.
Okay.
All right. Number 9. Go ahead.
Great Muta. Definitely one of my favorites. Definitely, from the Orient. Definitely had some very good matches with Ric Flair that come to mind. I'm trying to remember whether he held the WCW title or whether that was still the NWA title. But nonetheless, great Muta, the first person I saw spitting the green mist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At number 9, we got Rick Steiner.
Now, wait a second. This list is what?
I know, right? I know.
What is this list?
This list, I'm looking at it right now. Make sure I pull it up here. Yeah, top 10 WCW/NWA television champions.
Okay, a TV champion. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was going to say I didn't. When Muta came in, they were doing the switch over to WCW. But did you say Rick Steiner?
Yeah, brother, Rick Steiner.
He does not belong on this list.
I knew you were going to have a problem with that one. All right. At number 8, I thought this was a little bit low here. Again, television champions for NWA/WCW. At number 8, Ric Flair.
Well, I can understand why he's so low on this list. He's not. His TV title reign was not very memorable. And as you can see, most people forgot forgot that he even had the title, I'm sure.
All right, so let's see who's at number 7 here. We got the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
You know, and it's funny because I would expect Dusty to be higher on this list. He held the TV title several times. You know, I almost used to laugh that they created the TV title as another belt just to give Dusty a belt because Rick wasn't giving that one up, the world title. Yeah, it's I just would put Dusty higher on this list, particular list.
Okay, I agree with you 100%. He definitely should have been on the list more higher up. At number 6, you may find this one to be a little bit shocking. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Once again, I think he should have been higher up.
This one, yep. This next one, I'm a little upset with. Founding member as one of the founding members of the Four Horsemen, Tully Blanchard at number 5.
Oh, definitely should be higher. If
I would have made him
not
number
in the top 3, he should have. Yeah, if not in the top 3. But I mean, it is definitely you could argue the point for number 1.
Yeah. And at number 4, we have the one and only Lord Steven Regal.
I don't disagree with that. I think that's a good place for him.
At number 3, Sucker Booker T.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
He was a damn good TV champion. I'll admit that. There was a lot of times I would be turning on WCW, and I was just amazed at some of the stuff I was seeing him doing in there. Number 2, Stunning Steve Austin.
Yeah, definitely had a very memorable reign. He really brought a lot of prestige back to that title during his run. Stunning Steve Austin.
Yep, Stunning Steve Austin, yep. At number 1, another Four Horsemen member, Arn Anderson.
You know, I can't argue that. Arn definitely held that title longer than anybody else, and Tully had the national title really a lot during that time. Yeah, I stand corrected. Arn Anderson. I can't disagree with that.
I'm a little stunned that they didn't even put Ivan Koloff on the list, or at least give him an honorable mention.
Ivan?
Yeah.
I don't think his reign was that memorable with the TV title. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm looking.
Where would you have had him at 10?
I probably would have had him at about 9 or 8.
Yeah.
Definitely not in the top 3.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm looking at the full list of champions right now, and for the most part, I agree with Diamond Dallas Page. Nah. Now, he was mainly known for his little celebrity feuds with Jay Leno and Karl Malone, Dennis Rodman, all that little stuff. And I wouldn't count that one. What about Lex Luger?
He was more of a U.S. champion than I don't remember him having a TV reign. If he did, it was very brief.
I'm looking at Chris Jericho. Let me make sure I'm looking at that right. Looks like he held it for a good minute there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he held it for a good minute. I'm looking at 112 days he held it. That should have been an honorable mention right there. Yeah, I would have tweaked it a little bit, and definitely I would have put Jericho on there. And what was the other name I mentioned?
Koloff.
Koloff, yeah, he should have been in there. Other than that, I like the list. I think they did it pretty good. Are you going to check out that new Bret Hart, the Dungeon DVD?
I am. It looked pretty intriguing yesterday, and I have the Bret Hart 3-disc set that they put out several years ago, as well as the Bret and Shawn on DVD. So I'm kind of anxious to see what they do different, what matches are different one here. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick that up. Twitter is really going crazy with the stuff about Paul Bearer, JR tweeting about it, as well as Triple H saying rest in peace and you'll never be forgotten. Mickey James also chiming in, talking about that she was sad to hear of his passing. Thoughts and prayers going out to the family. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of this, in the next several days.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely breaking news. And if you are just now joining us, breaking news, Paul Bearer, legendary manager there, did some work there. What was that? WWE, WWF, AWA, correct?
World Class.
World Class.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Passed away.
Actually got his start there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty devastating, man. I'm curious, how's it looking on YouTube? Because normally when you hear stuff like this, YouTube is another place where you can kind of hear breaking news there.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, nothing yet.
Oh, it's coming.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, usually most shows, they aren't on at this time of night, so we'll definitely post it up on YouTube and get the word out there. And, that's pretty shocking, man. I mean, if you'd have told me that we'd get The Undertaker back and Paul Bearer would die in the same week, I'd say bullshit.
A day later.
A day later, yeah. Yeah,
a day later.
I'd say, are you serious? Let's go ahead. Let's wrap the show up. I mean, I think we pretty much got everything covered. I want to let you guys know that we got Impact Showdown Radio coming up this Thursday night, and we're going to be covering the Fallout as it's the final Impact before the Lockdown pay-per-view. And for those of you wondering, we will be doing a post-show covering the Fallout for it, so if you're not able to order it, kick on back, check us out. And we got some very interesting stuff, Diamond, that we're going to be covering as far as TNA wrestling news. Give the folks a little bit of a teaser. A certain wrestling legend recently had bashed Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. In case you don't know what we're talking about, we'll give you the 411 on that. Yeah. Very interesting stuff right there. Great way to lead into talking about TNA discussion. And we may be going off the air for a little bit, but you guys, the 411, follow us on Twitter at Infinity1Prod. You can follow Diamond K at the Diamond K Show. Something new that we just launched, literally like maybe 2 days ago. The RCWR show has its own Twitter account now, and be sure to add that. Now, just for your FYI, so you don't get all confused and frustrated, the RCWR show Twitter handle is just going to strictly post upcoming episodes. That way you know what's going on anytime we have a special guest. So you're more than welcome to follow it for that. You'll still get it over at Infinity1Prod. But I just kind of got a little bit irritated with some of our guests, with all due respect. When they would get ready to come onto the show, they would say, I'm going on Infinity1Prod show. And it's like, just say the RCWR show. It's like, people ain't going to remember Infinity1Prod. So that's why we kind of have that now out there having its own little identity. And I've already put a tweet out about it, and I'll probably end up coming out of the pockets to do a little campaign to get the word out about the Twitter account there. And Be Kind Rewind. Check out any episodes that you might have missed from this previous week. We did some good stuff. And programming, 1 week. We're going to have our 1-year anniversary. We're going to be kicking it off in style all month long. We got a special guest that's going to be coming by and helping us celebrate. It's going to be some pretty good stuff. And Diamond, I'll give you the last word of the night, buddy. General thoughts, or even if you want to talk about Paul Bearer again.
Well, I mean, good news with WrestleMania taking shape, and a lot of these, 4 or 5 matches really taking shape. But just rounding it out with the bad news about Paul Bearer. Do you think that he is a Hall of Famer himself, or would he have need to go in with Taker?
I was getting ready to ask you because that was something that was on my mind. He has not been inducted yet, has he?
No.
Then you know what? I think under these circumstances, and I think many fans would agree unanimously, I think he should go into this year's Hall of Fame. It sucks. It would suck that he would go in before Taker, but I think Taker needs to have his own standout moment when his time comes. I think given the circumstances and WWE's connection to Madison Square Garden, New York, New Jersey, and all that, I definitely think the timing would be right to have Paul Bearer go in there.
Yeah. I don't think that any fans would disagree with you there.
Yeah, I would be shocked to if somebody disagreed with that. I would definitely like to hear a very valid argument, but I don't think there would be any arguments from anybody. Yeah, give it to him. Circumstances are right, and it would kind of be honestly, and I'm thinking of it from a WWE standpoint. I think it would be a really good way for them to mourn and kind of embrace the news and everything, and celebrate his life and celebrate what he meant to so many people. Whose careers he really helped elevate. Definitely a shoe-in to this year. And if not this year, definitely he needs to be in on next year.
Yeah. I agree.
And that's going to do it, folks. Hey, we thank all of you for joining the chat room. I see we had a couple of people that called into the show just to listen. We appreciate that. If you missed this from the beginning, be kind, rewind, wait about 10 minutes, and you'll be able to check out the episode on downloads, available in iTunes, Zoom marketplaces, also on Stitcher. Just use the keywords, RCWR Show. He's the one and only Diamond K. I'm the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders. As I always say when I close out the show, you all be safe, be kind to one another. We'll see you this Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, for Impact Showdown Radio. Everybody, take care.